Just let me know. Okay, so let's review. I'm going to ask you to kind of share or put in the chat, or you can unmute. Remember how we solve this equations. Okay, so let's talk about steps. There's a bunch of things, looks scary, but we got through this. So what is step number 1? Anyone remember to solve this equation? What do we want to know first? What is step 1? So we want to solve this one. Let's solve this equation, right? What we're going to do, we're going to use this formula that's given to you. It's called quadratic formula. Okay, we need to know something first. That's the very first step. For this one, we don't need to, we're not going to minus the 3 because in here, we have the 0, so I don't have to move anything. Okay, unless it's equal to just a number, then I would move something over. But in this case, you don't need to know, we don't need to do that. Okay. All right, so, well, if you forgot, I'm going to ask you to write this down, have it on a piece of paper. The best way for you to do is have some notes so that you can go back. It's really hard for you to have everything memorized. It's just impossible to be able to do that. So write it down if that helps. Okay, step number 1, I need to know my A, B, and C. Because what I would do is that I'm going to plug in the formula, right, with the letter A, B, and C. So I need to identify A, B, and C. All right. So let's start with that. So quadratic formula, always, we need to know what that values represent. So there's a bunch of number in here. We have 3, -3, and -22. So let's put that in. So A is 3, B is -3, and C is -22. So those are the 3 numbers that you need to be able to identify which one is which, right? Then we will get to step 2, which is this step right here. Once I know the step, then I can just follow it. So this is a template that I'm giving to you. Let me know if the template is helped, or it's like Miss Wynn has confused me even more, then you can take that away. You can do without. But if this template is helping to remind you the step, then use it. Follow along. Okay? So what I would do, I'm going to fill in the parenthesis. So I have this parenthesis, this one. I have this one, and I have this one. Okay. Help me out. The first parenthesis, anyone, can you please share? What should I fill in the first parenthesis? What value should I put in? Because now I have A, B, and C listed out. So I'm just going to fill that in. Yep, the -3. So I will put it in. -3. Thank you. So I will put in -3. Be careful. If B is negative, then definitely I will put in that negative. Okay, do not just say, wait, there's a negative in front. Do I have to put the negative? You should. Okay, whatever the B values, you put in that parenthesis. All right. Then I will move on to the next parenthesis. Notice I kind of highlight the same letter with the same color. So I can do the next one, which is also -3. Okay, because that is also the B values. How do I know which one? Right here. Look at the formula that was given you on the corner, top corner. Okay, cool. Next parenthesis, 4 times what? Can someone tell me what should I put in there? So I'm looking at this parenthesis right here. What values can I put in? So look in here. You look on the top, 4, and then what letter that's given to you? Yes, 3, +3 and -22. Thank you, Ashley. So I will fill that in right? How do I know which values? Look at the formula given to you. There's a letter. So I go back to the letter that I listed and fill in that number. So it's going to be 3 and negative 22. I'm doing the same thing for my last parenthesis. That is the A values. I will put in 3. So that's step number 2. And the question for me so far was step 1, 2, and 2. Okay. Now we will get to step 3. For step 3, what we're going to do is that we're going to simplify as much as we can under the square root. And here, look over here, I have minus negative 3, so that's turned into positive 3. So I will change, instead of negative, now it's positive 3. On the bottom, I have 2 times 3 give me 6. So I'm just trying to simplify as much as I can, right? Now, what I would do is that I'm going to put the inside the square root. This is negative 3 squared minus 4 times 3 times negative 22. I want to simplify this piece. So you can either put in your calculator or you can do it without using calculator, and that is fine. So I will type that in to figure out what that value is. So that is under the square root. So let's see. Times 3 times 22. So this would get me 273. So I got that number. Okay. So basically what you need to do, right here, the entire thing, you just simplify that, put in your calculator, negative 3 to the second power minus 4 times 3 to negative 22. That will give you this. Okay. All right, one thing that I want to check is that I'm going to take the square root. So I'm going to move on to step 4. This is 3. This is 6. Okay. But what I want to try to test it out is that I want to take the square root of 273 to see if that gives me a nice number. It doesn't. When you put in your calculator, 273 doesn't give you a nice number. If it doesn't, then I will keep the square root. If we in person and we have more time, then we will definitely do something with this. We're going to simplify. But because of the schedule and the time that we have left, if you took the square root, it doesn't give you a nice number, then don't do anything with it. Just leave it for now. Okay? Then I would get to the last step, step number 5. Remember, I have the plus and minus. So the last step, what I would do is that I'm going to split this into 2 answers. Okay? The first one is 3 plus square root of 273 over 6. Exactly the same thing in step 4, but now instead of plus minus over here, I split into one is plus, the other one will be minus, negative. Okay? So I'm writing the same thing, but this what I will have 3 minus square root of 273 over 6. And that is step number 5, and that is my final answer. So if you was missed class from last week, that's what we cover. I'm going to share the link again. Thank you, William. I think I just saw Ella just join. All right, so if you just joined the class, there's a link for you. Please join the link. I will use that roster to take attendance later. Okay. Questions for me. There are 5 steps total using quadratic formula. Is the parentheses a template helping you? Is that something I should get rid of? Or is that fine? You need it there. Okay. If it's, I have student, last year when I did it, and I have student on Miss Wynn, that's really confusing for me. Can I do without? Yes, totally. Some of you say yes. Thank you for responding to me. That is fine. I'll leave it there for you. You can follow the template. And for those like Miss Wynn, the parenthesis, the negative is really confusing. Can I just do without? totally you can do without. You can just use a space on the sides to do it. Okay, let's do another example with this one, just in case, for those who need the help. If you need to take a picture, copy this down, do so. If you have questions, let me know. I broke it down into steps. Let me know what steps bother you or any numbers. Like how did I get that number, and let me know. All right. Okay, so these are the steps, right? I have this one, but the only thing missing is up here, which is -3. I'm sorry, not 3. Negative b plus or minus. Do I expect you to remember this? No. I will give this to you. Okay, that's a promise. I'll give you the formula. You don't have to have it memorized. But you need to know in which parenthesis when you need to plug in what value. So these are the steps. If you want to save this somewhere, take a picture of it. So next week when you take the summative, you have the steps listed out for you. And that help, then I will save this one. Okay, you can find this slide in the notes folder as well. I should say 4.7. Okay, so step number 1, identify A, B, and C. Can you guys please tell me what are those numbers that I should list it out? Okay. A lot of you did not responding to me and you're not doing anything in product. You gotta let me know where you are with this, okay? I'm hoping that you still hear and pay attention because it's really hard for me to plan the day if you just don't do anything. I don't know where you are. I'm going to move so fast. And then you was like, I'm locked. Okay, so let me know. All right, cool. Thank you. So A is 3. B is -9. -12. All right, so that's step number 1. Cool. Thank you. What we're going to do is going to fill in each parenthesis. So I'm going to highlight my A values in this color, my B values in this color, and my C values in this color. So it's easy for you to see. Okay. So A, A and A. Then with the B values, and then with C, we can fill in the values that's missing. Okay, the first number in here with the formula that I'm giving to you is tell you exactly which letter. So that would be -9, -9, 4 times A, which is 3, and C is -12, and 3. So I will fill that in. So that's step 2. Okay. Step 3, you're going to simplify inside the radical and denominator. So I listed out there's a sentence for you, so this should help. Negative and -9 turn into +9. And the bottom 2 times 3, which is 6. And then what you need to do is you need to multiply the number inside the parentheses. So you will do -9 squared. You're going to follow that order. Do not switch the order. So -9 squared minus 4 times 3 times -12. That will give you 225. Okay, so that's step 3. You're going to simplify as much as you can. So simplify the denominator and simplify the number inside the radical. You type in exactly what you see inside parenthesis, -9 to the second power, minus 4 times 3 times -12. If you have graphing calculator, or you can use decimal, or you can use the computer has a calculator for you. Type it in, use your phone, whatever will work for you. We will get to step 3 step 4, take the square root if it's a perfect square. So I'm going to take square root of 225 And this actually gave me a nice number. So when I did that, that would give me 9 plus or minus 15 over 6. Okay, so if it's a perfect square, then go ahead and take square root. If it doesn't give you a nice number, then just leave it. Leave it inside the square root. Don't do anything. Once you have this one, what you can do, you can split up into answers, right? 9 plus 15 over 6. 9 minus 15 over 6. Then we're just going to simplify our answer. So 9 plus 15, 24 divided by 6 give you 4. So this one will take you a little bit further. You do the same thing for the second one, 9 minus 15, give you negative 6 over 6, which give you negative 1. So your answer will be 4 and negative 1. Those are the roots. So you would do the same thing. So quadratic formula, the thing I like about it is that it would work with all of the quadratic function. So factor is nice, but it doesn't work for every single thing. So if you can have this, remember, if you have this formula down, then you're good with solving quadratic function. All right, I'm going to pause for you to take notes, and I'm going to take questions. So let me know if you have any questions.